Good, man. Actually, I had a big event out in San Jose, California this weekend, so I'm just got back home and
Hell yeah.
doing my laundry and getting ready to head back out.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and like I said, really sorry about the Friday issues with Zoom, but man, Monster Jam's coming down the pipeline in just about 18 days, September the 20th. This is going to be cool, and I mean, being part of such an iconic team that, I mean, hell, from just nationwide, everyone loves Team Gravedigger. It's got to be so cool to get in that truck each and every time.
It is, man. And you know what? I've kind of quit driving for the points this summer and the trophies. And you know, I kind of always have been this way. And I just drive for the fans and I go out and have fun. And I always know if I'm having fun that the fans are enjoying it as well.
Well, and you know, especially whenever you're in such a unique environment where fan interaction and that connection is really just so crucial, and something that's really just so special when it comes to this. What's it like to have to be a part of a team that's so connected with those fans and being out on the road? I'm sure you get stopped all the time, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. You know, the fans have been supporting this Gravedigger truck for over 40 years now, and you know, it's something that Dennis Anderson created back in 1982. So to be able to have a legacy that's over 40 years old, I mean, that's special in itself, I think.
Absolutely. And you know, you started competing in Monster Jam in 2016, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
What was that first experience like? Is there anything that can truly prepare you for that?
Not really, honestly. I mean, I was right out of high school. I mean, so it was, I went from high school to driving monster trucks. So it was quite a change in life for me at that point. But yeah, here we are. We're almost 10 years in, and man, it's been an awesome, crazy ride.
What drew you to Gravedigger?
So I just, you know, grew up doing off-road racing and was always kind of a gearhead and a motorsports fanatic. So, you know, now, you know, at the end of high school, I kind of had to figure out what I was going to do. And so I got kind of tied in with the Gravedigger guys. I worked at Digger's Dungeon when I was a junior in high school. So I kind of had that connection there. And like I said, I mean, I got the keys to a monster truck when I was 18 years old. So that's way crazy.
I love this, man. And, you know, how do you describe your driving style, you know, for the fans a little bit? You know, take us through, I guess, the firsthand experience behind the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite calculated behind the wheel, but I like to push the limits too. So it's you never know what you're going to get out of me. I'm definitely, I try and be the craziest driver on the track at all times.
Well, and going right into that, you know, what's the most challenging aspect of that once you're out there and you know, everything's live and you're on the horn? You know, what's one of the most challenging things that you have done out there, I guess, daring if you could? And then also, what's that kind of focus point whenever the lights are on and we're going?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be focused. You got to be ready to go because, you know, racing is that competition, I would say, is like the most stressful for a driver. Not that, you know, I guess stressed, but you got to be the most focused. You got to hit your marks. So you definitely got to be on it for racing. Everything else, there's a little bit of luck involved and a lot of skill involved as well. But I'd say racing you got to hit your marks perfect. Well,
and now going back to the first part of this conversation, you were saying how you aren't really necessarily looking for, you know, at the points too much. And, you know, why is that? Just because I know that you've had, you know, 7 series championships?
Yeah, 7-time series champion now. So, you know, at some point, I'm not saying that I have enough trophies and I'm not just sick of winning or anything like that, but I'm just to the point now where I'm just going out to have fun. I just want to have a ball myself, and I want to make sure the fans enjoy themselves as well and make sure that you know they're going to come back and see us and that they had a good time.
Well, and now when it comes to just your development, who do you credit that in terms of just learning the vehicle a little bit and also just your development throughout Monster Jam? Any role models or anyone that's really helped kind of guide you on that journey?
Yeah, I mean, the Anderson family has had the biggest influence on me, I'd say. I mean, working for Adam when I was, 16 years old, driving the ride truck out at Digger's Dungeon. And then, me and Ryan have been on tour quite a bit after that. But, Dennis Anderson, everybody always obviously looks up to him. Growing up, that was kind of my idol. Who's he not their idol, So definitely just cool to be driving the Gravedigger truck and behind the wheel. And, I can't wait to get to St. Louis, man. I'm very excited. And
that's right.
Yeah, definitely can't wait for that event.
Well, and now that takes me to kind of just the last couple of questions before we start talking Monster Jam here in St. Louis. And you were just out on the road. You were in San Jose. What's it like to balance that schedule? Because I'm sure that can get grueling at times.
Yeah, I mean, I get only a couple days at home a week, so definitely try and enjoy that. I fly back on Sundays and Mondays, and I'm back out on Thursday mornings. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the life for the week, that's for sure. If you don't like traveling or if you don't like being gone from home, this definitely wouldn't be the job for you. So, definitely, yeah, work-life balance is definitely key. I enjoy a good relaxation day when I get home for sure. So.
Now, I got to ask you, when you're out on the road, is there like a go-to not only playlist but also snack bag repertoire? Because only people that have traveled as much really know that you have to really have these things ready to go and to have a successful trip.
Yeah, I honestly just listen to whatever when I'm on the plane. I mean, can't listen to the same thing all the time. Snack-wise, I'm not much of a snacker, so I don't really carry many snacks with me when I travel.
That's fair. I carry just a couple of shooters just to get through that flight, but we'll get through it together, But, Tyler, take me into Monster Jam in St. Louis, especially at being in such an iconic venue and really just an event that's drawn generation after generation. What are you excited for the most coming into St. Louis on the 20th of September?
Honestly, I got to say, I only live 5 hours away from St. Louis, so I'm actually going to get to drive to that one, and just going to have some friends and family in the house. So that'll be awesome. That doesn't happen too often, maybe once a year, twice a year. So that's going to be cool. And, just St. Louis in general, it's one of our biggest floors, biggest stadiums we do. So I'm ready to kind of let loose inside the dome, that's for sure.
And, real quick, too, because I find this aspect of it fascinating, take me through what you hope fans who have never gone to maybe a Monster Jam before, maybe this is the first time for their little one, for themselves. What do you hope they get out of this, and what tips can you give them to really have just the time of their life?
Yeah, I mean, just make sure you bring your headphones, of course. Monster trucks are loud. And, even if you've been to a Monster Jam 5-6 years ago, I always say this, you could have been to a Monster Jam then. It's going to be different now. It's, Monster Jam, that's the coolest thing about it, is different every time you go. It's family-fueled fun. We have a great time. I've never heard of anybody leaving a Monster Jam unhappy. So definitely get your butts down there in St. Louis. And, I can't wait to see everybody on the 20th.
And now the event does start at 3 p.m., but that pit party will be open from 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. The event ticket and pit party passes are required for those entries. And, hey, I have one final question for you, just because I think it's a fun one. If you weren't driving monster trucks right now, Tyler, what do you think you'd be doing?
I always wanted to be like a welder of some sort, I think. So that was my secondary idea when I was in high school. So
that's awesome, man. Well, real quick, what was that first moment like in Gravedigger? Do you remember that? Just because to me, that's got to be one of those moments that kind of imprints on you. When you first turn you first get in there and turn the engine on.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was Birmingham, Alabama, 2017 in January. So. It was my first rip in the Gravedigger, and yeah, man, it was very, very exciting. I'll never forget it.
This is so cool. You guys can see Gravedigger Tyler in action. 3 p.m. is the event time on the 20th of September. That's a Saturday. That pit party, 10:30 to 1:30. And then, Tyler, before I let you go, any sneak peeks of what fans can expect from you out there?
Just be ready. I'm going to get crazy in the dome. I can't wait. And, see everybody down there on the 20th.
Awesome. Hey, Tyler, thank you so much for your time. We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com and really appreciate your patience on the tech side.
Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate it.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more Daily Show on this Tuesday morning right after this.